Hello, everybody. Welcome back to the Kennesaw State Owls Dynasty here on College Football 25. Our Owls back at home after we recorded our first win of this year 2 season. Feels like a weight has been lifted from our shoulders. A lot of pressure has fallen off Josh Terry, the head coach here in his second season, as just a 1-3 start. As we've accumulated, a 4-12 start to this Dynasty series, as we host 4-1 Western Kentucky here, our third home game of the season, our conference opener, as we barely defeated the Hilltoppers last year here at the opening kickoff. As we're now underway here, week 7 from Fifth Third Stadium. We're going to start with a touchback as Devon Stanzi at quarterback, making his third start of the year. The freshman who not a lot of programs saw as a quarterback, the athlete recruit, but he had that gem status, and Josh Terry bought into him as a quarterback all the way, as he's now making his third start. Another clean game last week, although he did throw a very bad interception. If you missed that one, certainly do not go back and check that out. It'll be out on the blooper reel. First play here, we'll give to Gavin Garcia, the leading rusher in the conference, by over 80 yards of the second rusher, the third rusher in the conference on Western Kentucky, LT Sanders, as we'll go right back to Gavin Garcia as he gets head for the first. Hosea Wheeler at DN, the leading sack man here in the Conference USA with 6. Got to watch out for him. And Upton Stout, one of the best corners in the conference, will go play action now. Try and get this for Benyard, and he drops that one. Benyard made a couple big catches last week to extend drives on third down through contact, but that one uncontested, just in his hands. And he drops it. Benyard, the player of the game last week, 76 receiving yards, and then 2 touchdowns on the ground. Now a 2nd and 10. We'll kind of scramble out with Stanzi here as Carson Kent can't really hold the block, although he does offer a little bit of resistance. As Stanzi going to use the legs there for the first down. Did have a rushing touchdown last week as well. Actually one in each of his first 2 starts. Now a fresh set here at the 48 will go to Benyard. Trying to be patient there, just one. As I mentioned, Benyard, the conference player of the week on offense, and then Donovan Westmoreland, the player of the week on defense. I think he had 5 tackles, 3 for loss, and a sack. Now here the RPO will just keep to Garcia as he fights ahead, gets a few, and early on we'll have an injury timeout. Going back to last year's game against Western Kentucky, won that on the road for just our 2nd win of the season. That one a triple overtime thriller, probably the most entertaining game of the series thus far. Here at the 47, we're actually just going to audible to a run. 4-down territory here. That's kind of how we play it. And we'll go to Garcia. Good blocking there at left guard from Pennington. But Garcia does not get it. And he will bring out Z's spot. As Stanzi takes the snap, they do bring quick pressure there for Moss. And he's able to hang on there and get a little separation over the middle. We do keep it pretty aggressive in those 4th and shorts at about midfield or closer to the goal. As we do move the chains there and hurry back, we'll get back to Garcia. Good blocks all around, really, as Garcia gets ahead for another first. Garcia has just been running opposing defenses ragged the past couple weeks. Had a nice 48-yard touchdown to kind of set the tone last week. Now Coy Ashley gets in on the action for 4. Try a spacing wheel here. Get Williams on that wheel out of the backfield, although I don't know how well that's going to hold up. We do have Moss kind of on that option route. We'll just give it a shot. Stanzi. Try and get that off for Benyard out of the backfield, and that play did not develop as I had hoped. And now, see, I don't know if we just run it on 3rd and 6, try and eat up some yards, and then push the envelope there on 4th and short, or if we just run this tight end cross. I feel like it might be covered well up the middle. So I think we will just try a run here with the 2 tight ends out there. And see if Benyard can pick it up, but that was closed off very well. And unfortunately, we will just settle for the field goal attempt, only getting 1 yard on that run. Britton Williams out there, a 34-yard attempt. He is 7 for 7 so far on the year. As he gets this one up, and that one going to be right down the middle as the Owls fall a little bit short here, but will still take points in a highly contested conference matchup. Western Kentucky 4-1, 2-0 in conference play. and they are definitely one of the top teams, along with Jacksonville State, Liberty, Florida International, the defending champs, as they upset a highly ranked Jacksonville State team in last year's Conference USA Championship. Now, Western Kentucky on the return, it's Hutchinson who actually leads the conference with 6 receiving touchdowns. There's Josh Terry. The impact players, Upton Stout and River Helms at tight end, the 85 overall. Although only 7 or 8 catches entering this one, it's been slow going for him, getting established in the passing game. But he'll try to get it going here today. You see him with the star there on the line, 87. Now Caden Veltkamp, the quarterback, we saw him last year, as they're going to start a give there. And we're going to get the tackle for loss. Adam Watkins had a huge game last week. Our whole defensive line really did, as we ended with 5 sacks, which was much needed after 0 sacks the week prior. Now 2nd and 11. Veltkamp from the shotgun takes the snap. A quick one there, and so just check it down. Gets 11. Now 3rd and inches. Now more than halfway through this first quarter. 3rd and inches will get that strong safety blitz going, as they're going to swing that out instead. That's Hutchinson, as he's working, still finding some space here. And a nice run after the catch there, gets 15. Caden Veltkamp at quarterback, 11 touchdowns, no interceptions entering this game. Going to see if our Owls defense can pick him off for the first time. Another give there for LT Sanders, gets 10. And LT Sanders, talk about a name for a running back. You got LT there, representing LaDainian Tomlinson as a false start. Or was that neutral zone or an encroachment? And that will give the Hilltoppers a first down. But LT Sanders are named after Barry Sanders and LaDainian Tomlinson, essentially. As now a fresh set into Owls territory. And they will give to Sanders, the 3rd leading rusher in Conference USA, gets 10. Western Kentucky going to bring multiple looks on offense and on defense. As now here they bring out the 2 tight ends as they go play action. Veltkamp down the field, hooks up with a man as he finds a soft spot, as Western Kentucky now inside the 10. That was Messer hauling that one in, the top wide receiver for Western Kentucky. Now they will call an audible, and we'll follow suit. 1st and goal at the 7, Veltkamp. Going to give to the back there. Sanders hit hard. Good stop there in the lane. I think that was Sidney Porter. Forced a fumble last week. Now 2nd and goal at the 5. Western Kentucky out there empty. As Veltkamp going to find River Helms, but it was actually in the hands of Brandon Hillman. They're in very tight coverage. I thought the aforementioned Helms very slow to get going so far. That time the end zone target, but can't haul it in. Now 3rd and goal. And I have to say our red zone defense has been very good in recent weeks. Hopefully that stands strong here. As Veltkamp going to just swing that out. We have Johnson, and he does make the stop there in man coverage. Veltkamp gave it to his running back there out of the backfield in that one-on-one matchup. And it is Johnson, the junior linebacker at 87 overall, by far the highest rated player on our team, as they go wide left. And I've seen this a bunch in this game. I think I might have to boost the field goal accuracy, because I've seen the CPU miss so many of these chip shots wide. And it's kind of inexcusable at this point. But we catch a break early on, as Western Kentucky cannot match our field goal. The Owls still leading after that shank. 1st down at the 20. Start a give here for Garcia, trying to run behind the block. Nothing doing. Now 2nd and 10 will go Z spot, with 2 tight ends and the fullback out there. Stanzi takes the snap, and a roll it. Just dumped that off for Moss. And Moss will get 6. We'll hurry back to the line now, although I don't really like this formation for back-to-back plays all that much. As we're going to go drive here. 3 tight ends now up there. Kind of an uncharacteristic look. Stanzi takes the snap. And we do have a man over the middle. That's Carson Kent. He hauls that in. Did not think he came down with that one. But I stand corrected. Kent either makes, a miraculous catch, or he drops an easy one. The 3rd-year starting tight end now, as we approach the 32nd mark in this first quarter. Get back to Benyard as he's wrapped up. A good tackle, 2 yards. And now we are here into the final seconds. Don't have to call a play if we don't want to. And I think we will just take this into the second. 3-0 Kennesaw State. A good offensive drive to start. And hopefully we can follow suit with a good second drive on offense. Western Kentucky misses a field goal after moving the ball pretty well. 8.2 yards per play for them to start, but nothing to show for it as our Owls leading here in our conference opener. Now a 2nd and 8 at the 41. Showing pressure there off the edge. I think we'll try to hit him with tight end attack. Like to mix this one in every once in a while. As we'll try and go for Kent there over the middle. And again, he hangs on that time for 13. Now back into Hilltoppers territory. 1st down at the 46. Garcia trying to stay patient there, but good penetration by CJ Cage, making the good run stop. 2nd and 12 now at the 48. Go stick bubble here. And we'll hit Bohannon there just on a quick one. Gets 4. Now 3rd and 8 at the 43. Kind of tempted, just kind of live into what I've been saying here. 4 down territory. Go for a run here against a light box. Work yourself into a manageable 4th down. But even at the same time, Garcia could pick this up alone. But I think we'll just go with this concept that we have. Should not have thrown that into the flat, and it's intercepted. I saw that, and I still went to it. For whatever reason, Devon Stanzi giving chase. And he can't come down with the tackle, as that's going to go for a pick 6 from Kent Robinson. Things were going too smooth for us as Western Kentucky. The pick 6 to take the lead, and a bad read there from Devon Stanzi. One interception a game I think we can kind of deal with, as I don't think we've thrown more than one in a single game. There you see the mascot, a little guitar solo, and like I said, we should not have gone to that read. I saw how it was kind of developing. And even before the play, I said we should audible to a run, which maybe in hindsight should have been the call. Devon Stanzi, I thought was going to be able to bring him down, but did not dive at him in the right spot. Pick 6 for the Hilltoppers, 7-3 now, pending the extra point. The Owls now trailing in this one. We'll start this drive and give for Benyard, and the run defense has been super strong for the Hilltoppers, much improved from what we saw last week against Georgia State. Now 2nd and 10. Don't really like this look in the passing game. We'll just go to slants instead. Stanzi takes the snap. Time in the pocket. And another bad read there, almost intercepted. And we have to get it together here with Stanzi trying to mesh dig, but hopefully we can get Dobson with some room to run underneath. They do send pressure. We do get Dobson, and he can't hang on. He had a 1st down and then some, and drops an easy one there over the middle. I also saw Nick Wright look to be a little banged up, as Joshua Hewitt will be on to punt for the first time. And a horrible drop there from Bryce Dobson. Excuse me, that was going to be a big play, as a fair catch there at the 32. So the defense does score for the Hilltoppers, as our defense out there facing a deficit for the first time. Let's see if we can keep this deficit at just 4 points. There's a good run there from Sanders, although it is coming back. That was KD Hutchinson on the hold. As I mentioned earlier, leads the conference in receiving touchdowns with 6. Play action there from Veltkamp. He'll go near sideline, and Hutchinson hauls that in for 1. Now 2nd and 9 at the 33. As Veltkamp will give to Sanders. Sanders wrapped up there by Watkins. Some help as he gets 3. Now sets it up 3rd and 6. Bring the nickel set out here. 3rd and 6 at the 36. Veltkamp making an adjustment, takes the snap. Has a man there down the field. Devin Ross makes a play on the ball and knocks it down, as that does force the 4th. Devin Ross, the redshirt freshman corner, has seen a lot of snaps along there with Tyler Hollum and Q Billingsley amongst our corners. Benyard now to field this at the 24, as he'll take that ahead to the 34. I think now it might be time to unleash Gavin Garcia, try and get this running game going. He will get the call. Garcia. And he's hit really hard, and he fumbles. We say we're going to unleash Garcia. Western Kentucky has other plans, as they force another turnover here in the first half. And they're in prime position to strike now at the 35. Less than 7 minutes remaining here in the second quarter. We just cannot afford to turn the ball over in our conference games, especially against our better conference opponents. As Veltkamp going to swing that out 12 yards for the first. We did get a sack early on, but our defense is definitely going to have to provide a splash play for us at some point. Now 1st down to the 23 for the Hilltoppers. We're going to take a shot towards the end zone, and that's, not sure who that is, Bates maybe, who gets over the top for the touchdown. as Western Kentucky does extend the lead. Now going to be 14-3 pending the extra point. And the pressure starting to amount here for our Owls. Devon Bates from Veltkamp, as Veltkamp another passing touchdown. As I think now his 12th or 13th of the year. Still no interceptions. As the Hilltoppers now out there for the extra point. 6:26 remaining in the half. The Owls kind of desperate for points at this point. We'll give Tykeem Wallace a chance here to make a play on the ensuing kickoff, and nothing doing. Good coverage, only to the 15. Fumble lost last time out by Gavin Garcia. Benyard now into the backfield. Already 2 turnovers for Kennesaw State. Benyard now on the carry. Still moving, still pumping those legs. Gets 13. We are going to bring some tempo here. Brought tempo at times last week against Georgia State in that rivalry game win, where we handed them their first loss. Now first down at the 28. We'll go right back to Benyard. Nothing doing that time. That was Hosea Wheeler on that tackle, who I mentioned does lead the conference with 6 sacks. Now 2nd and 10 at the 28. Trying to dump that off for Gavin Garcia there, coming out of the backfield, but I always forget how often those passes get tipped at the line. You know, you just see Stanzi throw it right to him, and that's kind of inexcusable in this spot. Now 3rd and 10. We're going to try and go to the screen game here, just about halfway through this second quarter. Stanzi does get that off for Garcia. A lot of space to run, running behind a block. Works towards the sideline. And got Garcia, his biggest play so far, that one for 17. Stanzi did have that snowflake, and he still does. Try and get him a little bit warmer here to close out the half. We'll go give here for Benyard, trying to let his blocks develop as he's taken down for a loss. 2nd and 11 now at the 44. Gonna try a triple option here. We have Garcia on it. Good spin there. Gets away from a few defenders. And Garcia, tremendous run that time, gets another 21. 21 yards there for Garcia off the pitch. As now Quay Ashley checks into the game. 4 minutes remaining in the half. And we will give it to him. Gets some good blocking. Ashley gets ahead for 6. 2nd and 4 now at the 30. Go to Garcia. Nothing doing really up the middle. 3rd and 3. I was prepared to go with 2 runs in this spot to try and get those 3 yards. But instead we'll go with FL drive instead. 3rd and short here. Stanzi takes the snap. Try and get Moss there underneath, and we do get him. Moss to the corner. It's a spin move, then forced out there at the 6-yard line. Good play call that time, down to the 6, 1st and goal. As that will probably bring us to the 2-minute warning. Moss on the catch and run, brings it all the way down to the 6 now. 2 minutes remaining in the half. Garcia spins away from a defender, as he'll be held up there at the 1-yard line. And I honestly don't mind that too much. It gives us some time to chew more clock, as we want to leave as little time as possible for Western Kentucky. Now 2nd and goal. And did someone jump up front? And it looks like Carson Kent, false start, as that will back us up 5. Now 2nd and goal at the 6. We'll go shock here. Quick one there for Kent, and he hauls that in for the touchdown. Penalty, no problem, as our Owls find the end zone for the first time. As we scrap our way back a little bit now, we'll turn to the defense. Still 1:16 remaining for Western Kentucky. Plenty of time with 3 timeouts, but it's encouraging to see our offense find the end zone. And I think we're considering going for 2 here to make it a field goal. But at this point, still a little too early, I think, to maybe sacrifice that 1 point. So I think we will just kick the extra point, as Devon Stanzi, his 2nd passing touchdown of his career of the season, both of which have gone to Carson Kent. Britton Williams now on for the extra point. That one up and good. Now 14-10. The Hilltoppers going to try and respond here to close the half. Caden Veltkamp, LT Sanders, and the rest of the offense back out there, trying to pour it on here to close out. A quick one there underneath for Hutchinson, as he's brought down after 6. The clock will continue to run, as it appears the Hilltoppers not showing too much urgency, and then they do call a timeout. So now 1:09 remaining, 2 timeouts left for the Hilltoppers. And now we will bring out the dime set against 4 receivers. 2nd and 4, Veltkamp. Quick pressure, they do set up the screen, and LT Sanders takes that for 11. Now the clock continues to tick here, 45 seconds left. Veltkamp making a change, takes the snap. as he's going to fire towards the sideline, and Hutchinson, a tremendous catch there as he toe taps at the sideline, hauls that in for 9. And they're going to go to the booth review, but I think that was a clean one. Hutchinson making his case as one of the top receivers in the conference. And they are going to overturn that, though. Now bring it back to the 42, 36 seconds. Still 2 timeouts for the Hilltoppers. Veltkamp. Good timing there on the comeback. Although that does go incomplete through the receiver's hand. Studdy was able to haul that one in, but my eyes did deceive me. Now 3rd down, still 33 seconds. Veltkamp from the shotgun still making adjustments. As the fans getting it going here a little bit from Kennesaw. And Veltkamp towards the sideline does find his man, River Helms there, the tight end. As that'll get 12 and the first. They burn their 2nd timeout. Now 26 seconds left. Now into Owls territory. Go back to River Helms underneath as he's taken down short of the 1st down, so that's pretty crucial. As the clock will continue to run, although they do call their final timeout. As they now take over at the 36-yard line, 18 seconds. Borderline field goal range. Veltkamp. Plenty of time to throw. Still maneuvering in the pocket. He's finally going to be brought down. And we end the half with an exclamation point. Veltkamp, just poor pocket awareness there. Sitting there way too long as it slowly collapsed. And it looked like Western Kentucky was going to be able to add on 3 more with a field goal attempt. But instead, Jordan Miles, Donovan Westmoreland there closing the edges as they both get home. Donovan Westmoreland really coming on strong here in the past couple weeks, as has Jordan Miles and the rest of our front. So 14-10 at the half. 2 turnovers here from Kennesaw State, 1 for a pick 6, which obviously proves to be the turning point on the scoreboard through 1 half of play. Our Owls 1-3, and we did get 2 signings in our recruiting class, and we are going to have a recruiting update after this game, so definitely stay tuned for that. Moving the ball balanced on offense, 94 passing, 92 rushing, but the Hilltoppers have obviously just relied on their passing game, and their defense scored, helping out the cause. 14-10 after 1 half as we seek back-to-back wins against Western Kentucky, but 4-1, 2-0 in conference play, currently atop the conference standings early on, as they do have a very good roster, a couple impact players at a few big spots. As we're set here for the 2nd half, the Hilltoppers will receive the ball, which is unfortunate, but our defense, hopefully they can continue to make stops as we close out the 1st half with a good sack there as Hutchinson will get things going. Sidesteps a tackle and going to be brought down at the 15. At this point, considering Western Kentucky runs a multiple offense, I wonder if they're going to try and transition to more of a running attack now to solidify their lead, just chew the clock kind of like we did last week. Although they will start with the pass here. Veltkamp goes down there for 9. That was Easton Messer, his 2nd catch, the top-rated wide receiver, although Hutchinson has made more of an impact in this game and during the season. Now they go back to the running game for Sanders. A tough run for 7. We'll keep the 4-3 out there on 1st down. I think they're going to show a little bit more run this half. They do give it to Sanders, taken down there by Jackson Colvin. Colvin, the reserve D-end, works his way in our rotation. Had his 1st sack last week. Now 2nd and 7, Western Kentucky a fake. And that got us. We had man coverage there with Taj Fat on Hutchinson. And that fake beat us all day. Very good play there from Katie Hutchinson down to the 39. Now 1st down into Owls territory. As Western Kentucky does go back to the run. Westmoreland there on the contact gets help from Tyler Hollum. Another 8 yards there from Sanders. Now 2nd and 2. Veltkamp back on the fake. Has a man over the middle. And he hits him now inside the 10. That one for 23. Western Kentucky back inside the 10. Veltkamp gives to Sanders. Breaks the tackle there in the lane as he'll bring that down to the 2. Bring out the 4-4 set again here as they counter with 2 backs. They're going to go option. Veltkamp going to break a tackle, still going, then finally brought down at the 10. And that will come back to a hold. And we will decline that, make it 3rd and goal at the 10 rather than 2nd and goal at the 12. As now Western Kentucky, one last chance here. They'll just go with the screen game And that's going to go for 7 now. 4th and goal at the 3, and they are going to go for it. I honestly do like to see them go for it in this spot. I feel like the CPU really isn't aggressive, but in this spot it certainly makes sense. 14-10 here, 4th and goal, as they give to the back, and we get the stop there. Tremendous play. I'm not sure who that was on initial contact. Looks like Jordan Miles may have gotten the stop, and that's the type of play that kind of swings the momentum. Now 1st and 10 at the 1, and last week we actually had a punt put us here at the 1, but we ended up calling an audible, went pass, and it did kind of work out for us. Although here, not trying to go play action, we got to call a timeout as we were all out of sorts. Now backed up against the wall, literally here. 1st and 10. Stanzi try to get a quick one there, get some space for Moss, and we do get 4. We'll hurry back now. Although it's not showing us our audibles. So are we going to be stuck calling the same play again here? And I think we are. So 2nd and 6 at the 5. Stanzi, another drop back here. As we're going to try and run, and we're going to be sacked. That was kind of unfortunate. We couldn't change up the play. As now it is going to be 3rd and 8 at the 3. Stanzi. Check that one down for Dobson. And we're going to have to punt now from our own 3-yard line. We get the goal line stand, but all for naught, as now we have to punt. And as I've been saying, our back's literally against the wall here. As Joshua Hewitt does get that one off. We had punt blocks the past 2 weeks, as Hutchinson is going to work that from the 50 to the 37. Now for Western Kentucky, not a bad trade-off, you know. You get stopped at the goal line, but you get it right back now at the 37 as they're going to swing that out. For Hutchinson, he gets the 1st down. Now more than halfway through the 3rd quarter, 1st down at the 26. And they'll fake it. Veltkamp going to go for a man there, coming back to it, and a good play by Tyler Hollum to recover and make a play. Now a 2nd down here. Veltkamp going to just check that one down, as that'll go for 7. Now a 3rd and 3 at the 20. Veltkamp to pass. Try and check that down on a screen, but it doesn't develop, as we are going to have the stop here inside the red zone. 37-yard field goal attempt to make it a 7-point game, as that one is up and good. So Western Kentucky does sink that one as they make it an even 7-point game. Now 4:18 remaining, 17-10. Kennesaw State back out there. Garcia trying to be a little nimble there in close quarters, only 1. The running game just has not been established like it was last week. Now 2nd and 9, we'll go back to it anyway, as Garcia really not finding any lanes. Now here 3rd and 9, go flood post. But I think with Benyard, we'll throw him a slant over the middle. I don't know if that's going to impede Moss at all, but we shall see. We're going to go for Bohannon instead, and we broke off the route too much. Miscommunication there with Stanzi as we go 3 and out. And that's kind of a pivotal mistake on our part. User error that time. Joshua Hewitt, another punt from his own 26. As that will be fair caught at the 32. So a 42-yard punt if my calculations are correct. Now a 1st down, quick one there for Hutchinson. He gets the 1st. I got to say, though, I am really starting to enjoy the gameplay here on College Football 25, as they will go for Sanders. Taj Fat brings him down, but not before getting the 1st down. It took me a while to get acclimated to this game, but I feel like I'm finally at a point where, you know, I can be competitive, but also at the same time, we're having like realistic games. That's what it's all about here, as River Helms underneath gets for 7. And as we go along, as we build up this Kennesaw State football program, of course, we're just going to get better and better each season. As Veltkamp going to give to Sanders. Thought that might be a play fake. Sanders gets 14. Now Western Kentucky trying to chew some clock here with a touchdown lead, trying to add some points, make it a 2-possession game. As Veltkamp will fake that time. And he has a man there towards the sideline, that for the 1st down. Western Kentucky back in the red zone. We'll go nickel 2 trap this time. I think we actually had an interception off this play call a couple weeks back. Veltkamp going to keep this time. Sidney Porter there, hard hit, 4 yards. That one definitely rocked Veltkamp a little slow to get up, but he is out there for this next snap. 2nd and 6 now at the 16. And they do go play action. Swing it out for River Helms. The tight end makes another play. Works that inside the 5. Now less than 10 seconds left in this third quarter. As a man jumps up front. I think that might call that a neutral zone infraction, though. That was encroachment. As now that will bring us into the fourth quarter. 17-10 here. Our offense hasn't really gotten going like we needed it to. It looked pretty good in the first half, although the turnovers have simply crippled our attempts here. As the top 25, Texas at number 1, coming off a big win last week against Georgia, followed by Alabama, Oregon, and Virginia Tech also there in the top 4. We need our defense to come up with another goal line to stand here, and our offense to kind of get clicking here in the late stages. First and goal to start the fourth. We go with a pitch, as Sanders will find the end zone, and Western Kentucky will double their lead here to start the fourth quarter, as our Owls now dig ourselves a little bit deeper. And let's see if Devon Stanzi, the freshman quarterback, can lead a touchdown drive here. And now we'll see if Tykeem Wallace can kind of get something going, although it's usually not the case. Try to burst that. We almost had the burst there to the outside, but did not quite work out. As now Stanzi back out. They're going to go heavy run this drive. Hopefully we can string together a couple big ones. Garcia gets going. Flag, and this one is going to come back. It's hard to get the running game going when you're committing penalties. Now 1st and 16. Let's go 4 verts here. What's the worst that can happen? Stanzi takes the snap. Try to pitch it to him on the shovel, and he doesn't respond. While an incompletion, not optimal, certainly not the worst that can happen. Maybe a little conservative, but I think we'll try to get him here. Numbers up front, or at least matched up. Trying to get a run here for Garcia, as he only gets 5. Still 3rd and 11, much more manageable than 3rd and 16. Stanzi. Try for Dobson down the field, and that one in his hands, and he can't come down with it. So we do have to punt here deep from our own territory after that penalty, and our offense has just gone stagnant. Looked somewhat promising early on. Now we're going to force our defense again to come up with a timely stop. Now less than 10 minutes left in the game. Hilltoppers, good field position here at the 42. As they'll give it back to Sanders, breaks an arm tackle, and works ahead for 10, going to be 2nd and inches. You just got to remember, tough conference opponent. Even though we did beat Western Kentucky last year, still a more established program, and they are having a very good season this year. As Messer, a good catch move, gets 8. Now 9 minutes remaining at the 41. Veltkamp. Going to hit a man there, and that is going to skip in the grass. I thought that was an easy pitch and catch, but we'll certainly take the incompletion. A turnover here would do wonders for our momentum, for our psyche at this point. 2nd down at the 41. Veltkamp. Going to swing that out for Sanders, as he'll get ahead for 14. And defense certainly hasn't played bad in this one, but just no run support from the offense. That time a good stop at the line. Now 2nd and 10 at the 27. Veltkamp. Just check that down. Good stop there. I thought Dennis Johnson had the stop, but not the case. As a good move there from the receiver. Got ahead for the 1st. I'll go nickel dog, 3 buzz. Bring some pressure. Although, if he gets rid of this one quick, it might not be good. Although they do go run, as LT Sanders going to get ahead for 16. And now Western Kentucky pouring it on, as it's now going to be a 21-point lead. The Hilltoppers really establishing themselves as one of the premier teams here in the Conference USA. Although, our Owls, nothing really comparable. But still, Western Kentucky now going to be 3-0 in conference play, unless we could have a historical comeback here in the late stages, as LT Sanders among the leading rushers in the conference. Now Benyard a chance on the kickoff return. And again, nothing doing to the 16. Now, obviously at this point, just got to start letting it rip in the passing game. Quick one there for Benyard, trying to just go with the quick hitch. Another holding call. Newman has put a strong right tackle over the past few weeks since being reinserted into the starting lineup, but a lot of holding calls that come with it. Now we'll try a run for Garcia, not catching them off guard by any means. Then we'll go RPO, read flat wheel. We'll try and get Benyard there. And is this going to be another holding call? As it is. This is almost comical at this point. Now curl flat corner. As we're almost taken down there for the safety. Stanzi just able to get rid of it there at the last second. Now 3rd and 21 at our 5-yard line. And they do bring some pressure. Stanzi going to try and just step up. As he will scramble for 9. And they are telling us to punt, but I mean, we're probably going to turn it over here. 4th and 12 at our own 15, but I guess we're going to go down swinging. If we give up another touchdown, it might skew the score, you know, but that's really not what we're worried about. So we'll try a smash instead. Maybe we can get Benyard there up the seam, although I'm not sure. We'll go Dobson here on a slant. As Stanzi takes the snap. Oh, they responded well. They had Wallace there at the sideline, and then that defender, Kent Robinson, already with that pick 6, almost had another one as he was able to get over there and react. So turnover on downs. This game just did not flow and did not open up the way I thought it would. They go back to Sanders here in this one. Another holding call, and I think it's time to put that slider down a little bit. Now 5:43 remaining, just about halfway through this 4th quarter. As Veltkamp will give to Sanders. Breaks a tackle there on the outside, still going. Then Jordan Miles gets their good motor as it's now 2nd and 6 at the 10. So I believe next week we have UTEP, if I'm not mistaken. Definitely a more manageable opponent as they are one of the bottom teams in the conference. So hopefully next week we can get back in the win column. And as I mentioned earlier, we did get our first 2 commits of this year 2 season. And we got a couple good ones, I got to say. I believe both gems, one a safety, one a quarterback. So stay tuned until after this game. Now a quick one underneath there as Veltkamp hits his man, and he will just be short there. 1st and goal at the 1. Veltkamp trying to add another touchdown here. As I said, no interceptions still on the season. Gonna go direct snap here for Sanders, and it's good blocking there by Helms. Opens up Sanders for his 3rd rushing touchdown now, as he's opening the season as one of the most illustrious backs here in Conference USA play, along with our very own Gavin Garcia, although Garcia not nearly as successful of a game for our Owls, as Western Kentucky really pouring it on here late as they've taken over in the 2nd half. And now 4:08 remaining until we can kind of exit our misery in this one. A tough defeat at home, although it was nice to get into the win column last week. Now 1st down at the 25. We'll just give that to Carson Kent underneath, and he can't hang on, incomplete. Now we'll go level sail. As Stanzi takes the snap, going to scramble this one on the move, gets Bohannon there, Dobson, as he's forced out after 11. Now 1st down, less than 4 minutes remaining. Stanzi going to step up and run. Stanzi using his legs this time, as he'll flip the field, gets 19. Now into Western Kentucky territory. Stanzi takes another snap. Again, going to just step up in the pocket, and he fumbles, and that's going to be the 3rd turnover now for our offense. I knew his ball security has been a question, but trying to make something happen with his legs on this, what we were hoping would be one of the final drives of the game. But instead we give it right back to the Hilltoppers. Reed Jamerson makes the play, as the Hilltoppers in a spot now to pour it on even more. 3:21 remaining. As here at the 43, another short field to work with. And field position certainly advantage Western Kentucky in this one. Get back to Sanders here, so he'll be brought down, although an injury timeout, as he'll exit the game at 114 rushing yards, 3 tutties. Taj Fatt, the freshman linebacker, his 3rd game. We're going to just play him one more game, then give him the red shirt. And I think we'll introduce Michael Pettigrew, another freshman linebacker we brought in. Another 1st down there for the Hilltoppers, now at the 44. As Veltkamp takes the snap. They are chewing the clock, which I do appreciate at this point. We'll take that one, no gain. And that will take us into the 2-minute warning. 2nd down at the 44. We'll go back to the run here. Just going to chew the clock, run it on the ground. Aaron Bryant, another injury timeout. Now 3rd and 1. If we get the stop here, we'll just call a timeout, see if we can get the ball back. As they will get the 1st down. Sanders back out there, and that one might do it. So another poor overall effort, I guess you'd say, here today, but you know, not every game is supposed to be easy. There's supposed to be a lot of growing pains along the way in building up these dynasties. As another flag, so the holding and the injuries, I think I might have to lower a little bit. This one actually illegal block in the back. And it's kind of just painful to try and get out of this game. And now Western Kentucky will just go to the victory formation, as they'll have to give it a couple attempts here before we can officially run out the clock. Or actually, they just do it on their own. I like that. Save some time, as Western Kentucky outscored us 24-0 in the final half of play. 3 touchdowns in the fourth quarter. We were able to keep it close for most of the way, and then just kind of fell apart, as we've been accustomed to here so far in this year 2 season. Just not putting together strong efforts in the second half. Last week, in that victory, we just put together a complete team effort the entire way on both sides of the football. But this week, 3 turnovers, and that's never going to get the job done, especially when you're not evening it out there in the turnover differential. I think just 1 or 2 sacks for our defense. Otherwise, Western Kentucky, especially in the second half, moved the ball very well, especially there in the passing game. So our Owls fall to 1-4. We'll just go through the stats here pretty quickly. Devon Stanzi just 10 out of 23 for 109, by far his worst start so far. He was pretty clean there in the first 2. Does get a passing touchdown this week, but another interception and a fumble lost. Garcia 63 yards. Banyard only 2.2 on 7 carries. I think last week we ran the ball 30, 40 times. This week under 30. Receiving, Moss 4 catches, 44. Kent 333 and a touchdown. 1 sack allowed from Pennington and Newman. Then on defense, tackles for loss, 4 players with 1. Porter led with 11 tackles. Then we had 1 sack as a team. Westmoreland and Miles combined for that. So stick around here as we head to recruiting headquarters, as we'll get you all caught up on what's been going on in year 2 so far. So now we're here at the recruiting board for the first time during this year 2 season, and we'll just go down and start with the players we've gotten committed so far. And we'll start here with Bradley Westbrook, a gem strong safety out of Athens, Tennessee, 6'2", 186. A gem, as I said. He was our top target in this overall recruiting cycle. Look at that, 95 speed, 89 agility, and in our 4-2-5 base scheme, safeties are all more important than in other schemes. 63 zone and 74 man, not the best, but at least that man coverage is somewhat doable from the jump. Although you wish that zone was a little bit better with that 70 pursuit, has the natural and road dog mental. So Bradley Westbrook does commit to Kennesaw State, as he was the first here we've got in this year 2 season. Now going here, Deion Kendricks at quarterback, another gem out of Ellenwood, Georgia, 996 on the national board. Go over to his scouting, 88 throw power, so already a stronger arm than anybody we have on the roster, with very good accuracy ratings from the rip, with 78 short, 77 medium, 83 deep. So all those accuracy categories at least high 70, with 84 speed, 85 agility as an improviser. So of course we have Devon Stanzi, a gem at quarterback, but it's going to be interesting to see how he competes with Deion Kendricks once Kendricks steps foot on campus. So now we'll go up to the targets we're kind of pursuing heavily at this point. We'll start here with Steven Square, who was someone we had visiting last week, but we lose out here against Vanderbilt. So we wanted 1 or 2 D tackles in this class. He actually didn't even take his visit with them yet, so that was a matchup where we were all but going to lose. But luckily, before last week, we did add a couple D tackle prospects to the board, I believe. And we'll look at them now. Yeah, so we actually scouted Brian Ball, 87 strength, 84 finesse move. You like that? He was a late addition. We just added him as a mid-season addition to our recruiting board as we jump into a 3-team race now with Florida Atlantic and Florida International, as we try and pluck him out of Fort Lauderdale. So we'll move him up the board as he kind of replaces the spot there of Square, who we lost out to against Vanderbilt. We'll put Ball there. So now going up to the top of the board, we already got 1 safety there in Bradley Westbrook, and now we have Ben Humphreys, another gem at safety, has that zone designation. Looking at his stats, 72 zone coverage with 88 speed. So he's already pretty much a better athlete than anyone we have on the roster. And he'll have that gem tag to go along with it. Is ready for a visit. We have 100 hours to work with. I'm not sure if we're going to get through that in this episode. Might just do that offline. And we need 2 or 3 running backs. After this season, we're going to have only 2 running backs on the roster. And our top option here, Kevin Page, looks like he's very, very close to committing. No other team has offered him a power back at 6 foot 225 out of McDonough, Georgia, with 92 speed. You really like that as a power back. Not the best agility, but the trucking at 84, break tackle at 84, strength at 81, and an 80 stiff arm with that gem tag. He's going to develop into a premier back, probably a bell cow type guy, someone we can give the rock to 30 times a game. but we need another running back at least, and here we have Nolan Ruggs, who would serve as a nice complement. We didn't really jump on his recruiting until a couple weeks back, although we did add him in the preseason, an elusive guy with 90 speed, 89 agility, 77 vision, with an 82 juke, the spin and break tackle there in the mid to low 70s. So between Page and Ruggs, kind of just a one-team race right now. Page looks like he's going to commit any week now, and we're going to go ahead and schedule a visit with Ruggs here shortly, and also Ben Humphreys here. So we already have 2 gem commits, and we're set here for maybe a few more, as now Lester Reeves, another gem here, an athlete middle linebacker with 90 speed, 84 agility, respectable strength, 72 block shed, 82 tackle, and 71 zone. So a very good profile to build off of. Someone who's going to develop very nicely with that gem status. And you have to absolutely love his athleticism. Now another gem here. All 5 of these guys at the top. No one else has offered them for whatever reason. So Marquis Morincola, we actually like him as a D end with just 54 zone, 83 speed, 79 strength, 68 block shed. So I think he's a guy who could maybe be a run stopper coming off the edge. And with that size and, playing profile with low coverage, but high block shed, high athletic traits, I think he's someone who would thrive with a move up front. And then we have Brian Ball, who we just jumped on. Still too early to schedule him or anything. We'll keep him at max points. Tobias Swope. We really only need to bring in 1 corner. A lot of underclassmen on the roster. And we did have him in for a visit last week, although probably didn't do ourselves many favors with that performance. But 91 speed, balanced between zone and man, and someone who can come in and just be a good depth guy, maybe start in his upperclassman years. Kevin Ellington, our top target at offensive tackle. It was kind of just us, but now USF has really jumped in on him, as has Liberty, and we didn't really gain much from that visit, as we failed to sway him on. We were trying to get playing time swayed, as we'll take that off. We'll take off time to get to work, and then just give him the send the house. And then we get Eric Malveaux. Really good center prospect. You love the strength and speed combination with 87, 75 respectively. Lead block impact there in the low to mid 70s. 68 pass block, 69 run block. So a very balanced offensive lineman there on the interior. And you like that athlete designation. Probably could play a little D tackle as well. So Eric Malveaux, we haven't really poured too many points into him just because we haven't had much contest behind us. But someone we might have to ramp up on a little bit. And then we'll have Spencer Middlebrooks here, another linebacker. Want to probably bring in 2 linebackers. As we said up here, we do have Lester Reeves, Morincola, probably a D end. So we'll probably go after Middlebrooks as our second linebacker. A very similar, skill set here to the aforementioned Lester Reeves, but just does not have that gem status, but still an athletic linebacker and someone who could probably be a good addition for us at some point. Then we have a couple guys here who we really haven't poured points into. We need 2 receivers probably in this class. It's really just George Cabrera and Patrick Kongbo here. We don't have much interest around the nation as far as receivers go, so maybe a spot we'll maybe need to pluck into the transfer portal this coming offseason. But actually, Florida Atlantic has offered Cabrera here, and I think we will just go ahead and scout him. We've been kind of just recruiting him blind so far. Initially, we see that 81 spec, 71 release, 72 deep route, 68 medium route, and 95 speed, 95 acceleration. And yeah, with FAU kind of jumping on him, we need to recruit him more heavily. And I think even just throw the house at him at this point. We do have a pretty good lead right now, but I am kind of nervous there of FAU just behind us there to try to keep him close to home there in Miami. So we are going to send the house now on George Cabrera after we uncover that 95 speed. And Kongbo will just kind of keep recruiting him blind with no points, as no one else is offering any competition. So we'll throw Cabrera up here behind Morincola, kind of sort our gems here at the top. And then that next tier here with Cabrera, Ball, Swope, Ellington, Malveaux, Middlebrooks, which leaves us with 20 points to work with now, as I'm not sure how I'm going to allocate that, but we'll go position by position quick. We just wanted 1 quarterback, got that with Kendricks, 2 or 3 running backs, so hopefully Page and Ruggs commit here before too long, and then we'll kind of turn to our backup plans here. Jamerson Pete, Paul Trahan, and then Deon Madu, a 1-star out of Cartersville, Georgia, I recently added, has that receiving back designation, which I haven't seen many of them, at least interested in our program. A couple fullbacks here, a 3-star JUCO, Bo Perkins, Brock McLaughlin. Definitely want to scout these guys soon. Offer one of them a scholarship, as we do want to add more flexibility there at fullback, which would certainly, tie into Josh Terry and his past as a player from our Marquette Dynasty. At receiver, Wendell Duke, added him as a little more insurance as a 2-star, but hopefully Cabrera and Kongbo are the guys for us. At tight end, probably just one guy in this class. We've already offered Marcus Gee and Juan Shaw, even though we haven't scouted them. Although we did scout Shaw, but he came back as a bust, so we kind of pulled out on him. Although 89 agility for a tight end is pretty good, but the 78 speed, not that great for a vertical threat. So we haven't even scouted Gee yet. George Kimball, a 2-star, and Keon Noville, a 1-star. Maybe we'll get to them in scouting here soon, but tight end not really a priority right now, although we still would like to bring in one. And then here at offensive tackle, USF has really been coming on strong here for Kevin Ellington. We just visited with him, 87 strength, good power blocker, 66 pass and run block. Really no other tackles on the board. So we actually only have 3 offensive linemen total on the board. And that's actually our target. We want 1 offensive tackle, 1 interior lineman, and then miscellaneous after that as Eric Malva. I think we should pour more points into him. We'll bump him up to 25. As I did mention, we don't want USF there sneaking up on another prospect. Now going over to D-end. We have Marincola, as we said, probably going to be a D-end. Maybe bring in 1 extra, but I'm not overly impressed here with Brenton Beach, although we are the only team to have offered him a scholarship. I like that he's a speed rusher, but only 75 speed, not the best. Decent strength. Finesse move at 74, you'll take that, but I would like maybe more of an overpowering presence there off the edge. Andre Bartu, 80 strength, but low speed, low agility, not a good athlete. I think we'll actually just take him off the board entirely, as that will leave us with 2 more spots to target players. And I think we'll probably have to go for someone at wide receiver or maybe here at D tackle if we don't catch on here for Brian Ball. We also have Carl Smoker, one of 2 teams to offer him, but he did come back as a bust, only 84 strength, but low speed and all the other traits, really nothing overpowering. Marquez Caraway, we added him last week, and I have to scout him here soon. Marquis Marincola, I think we could just keep at 15 points. Lester Reeves at middle linebacker. Looks like he's close to maybe closing down to his final 3 schools. Spencer Middlebrooks, a 1-team race still for those 2 guys. Only 1 corner in this class. Hopefully Swope is the guy, but we have a couple backup plans here. And 2-star Josh Penny, Andre Fox, and at safety, hopefully Ben Humphreys commits, along with Bradley Westbrook, who was the first commit here in this year 2 season. Then we have Isaiah Kugbia, who actually came back not a bad zone safety with that 79 zone, really good. But the speed at 88, wish he was a little bit faster, poor change of direction, but still a good safety prospect if we don't catch on there with Ben Humphreys. And then Duke Rowe got offered from Old Dominion, scouted him a couple times, 85 speed, so we were kind of out on Duke Rowe. I think we'll just remove him from the board as well. And then we do need a punter, so we offered Lonnie Hart blindly despite not scouting him at all. So that's a little recruiting update. We got our first 2 commits, and it's looking pretty good. A bunch of gems here at the top who are going to fill needs, and then some good backup plans, as well as our year 1 recruiting class came back as 51 overall, I believe, in the nation, and this year we're set to maybe surpass that. So there we see for next week, going to host 2-5 UTEP as we look for our first conference win in year 2. But this is where I'm going to leave you, folks. Thank you so much for watching. We had a kind of a dud there in that Western Kentucky game. They just proved to be the better team, as another second half proved to be our demise. It looks good early on before it just kind of gets away from us a little bit too much, as we see number 2 Alabama loses to Vanderbilt, and maybe that's why that D tackle prospect, I think it was Square, maybe that's why he went to Vandy, committing to them after a monumental win there in their program history. But just closing down here, the top 25, we have Jacksonville State come off a big win against Liberty there in Conference USA play, maybe one of the best or one of the biggest conference games there in our conference. But as always, everybody, it's been real, and be well. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you next time.